Welcome to Focus Garage. Today we are diving right into our project car. We're going to show you guys what was the initial problem with this car before I picked up and what we have found so far. We are going to replace a lot of piping and all that stuff, and we'll take you guys with us for the DIY. So first thing what we found was that when I first test drove the car, it was making like boost noise, basically like a
hissing.
Hissing.
You can hear the turbo, but not the intake noise of it.
Right. And then when I looked at the digital boost gauge in the car, and it was just making atmospheric pressure, which was making me believe that there was a boost leak somewhere. Because I own a Focus SC, which is also a boosted car, and I dealt with it a lot with the boost leaks, blown charge pipes. I made a decision that it was either like a blown charge pipe or a broken intake or something like that. It was like piping issue. So I didn't really care much about it, and it was like back in the burner. I can fix it later. So I bought the car and I drove around. There's nothing so far. There's nothing wrong with the engine, anything like that. But it was still not making boost. So today, Mike and I are diving into it. We took the car apart. It's very tedious, and we didn't know much about it, so we didn't really film that. Maybe next time we can film that for your amusement, for a lot of failures, because there's...
film our suffering for their enjoyment. It was just pretty much pulling stuff apart and figuring out, is this the right bolt, is this the right clip to get to what we're trying to get to
when
here.
You're working with a 30-year-old plastic, which is like very hardened, and it's very brittle, and once to break off, you're just like very on the edge.
Yeah, it's not something you want to see film-worthy, seeing somebody be very, very careful with old plastic.
We can take a look at the...
Show them what we found first, the real culprit here.
The real problem is... hold on a second, let me grab it. It's very filthy. You can see right there...
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, spread that.
You can see from here that this is what we first found, that this is ripped, and then there's multiple places that this is ripped as well. So there's so much oil.
Yeah, so this coupler was on the cold side of the intercooler. So
no, it was on the hot side of the intercooler.
Oh, that was on the outside of whatever. So you got the factory intercooler here, which is kind of neat. It's like a little half-size intercooler here. Little half-size intercooler here, so it pretty much sits right inside the grill like that, and we were able to pull it out and get all the piping off of it, and we were looking through, seeing what the deal is.
We did some janky pressure testing, and we did not hear anything coming out. So
it seems to hold pressure.
It seems to hold pressure. If not, I'm going to take a look on eBay to find one, upgrade it, or whatever. We did try to fit. Let me see. This is my stock Focus SC intercooler. We did try to fit it, but...
first results, it doesn't look like it works so well, but hey.
Yeah, we tried, but it failed. Anyway, and doing a little bit more investigation, we're looking at every single one of the charge pipes. I went to a junkyard and took a bunch of charge pipe from Audi. I think it was an A6 with a 2.7 twin turbo. And I was like, oh, I'm going to replace every single one of them. And then I realized this has like a kind of like an egg shape, and it goes into the throttle body. So this is out of the picture, changing it, unless I find something that it's online. But, I mean, for like aftermarket online. But I bet it's going to be like $10, $15, $20.
Yeah. And this does not appear to have any cracks. This is right on the intake side of the engine, so this mounts to the throttle body. We thought maybe this was the culprit at first, that air was escaping out of this, but upon closer look, everything looks pretty much okay with that. So, considering we had a couple large holes in this, we're gonna, run it as it is with this piece for now, and just, obviously get this guy out of the equation. So we're gonna kind of have to go to the drawing board and work together our own system of couplers to work together our own system of couplers to go from the turbo, which actually sits. Grab that light for us here.
Yeah, let's show you guys the little baby turbo.
Look at that. So this is pretty close to the front bumper. I want to kind of show you guys in relation here. So here's the passenger side headlight. And then right in there is actually where the turbo sits. So it's pretty neat. You can see right in the front of it there. We checked for shaft play. It's in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, You see a little bit of movement, but that's okay.
It spins pretty freely. Nothing looks crazy. No weird oil leaks or anything like that out of it. But
I don't know if you guys can see it with your
probably,
my finger was in there.
Probably not so well. But yeah, that's where the turbo sits. We got the intake manifold here, and then right down below that there is the turbo.
So we did try to go through the vacuum lines and see where they are going, because this is a car that we never worked on, and I never personally seen any, and there's not many videos out there on YouTube to do like a DIY kind of thing.
Just figuring it out as we go.
Yeah, exactly. So we did go through the vacuum lines, try to see where the wastegate, and I tried to find a blow-off valve and bypass valve,
bypass valve, yeah.
Bypass valve, and I couldn't find anything. So I'm assuming there is none. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. I would like to take a look at that and see if it's in good shape.
Upgrade
if not,
it.
upgrade it or remove it, whatever.
Do you want to share the interesting finding we found in the intercooler?
Oh yeah, so this car, a lot of German cars have that era has like a blow by. So this, I mean, when you're looking into this is the intake. There's significant amount of oil in it.
You see how shiny that is in there? Yeah, that's all oil residue coating the rubber pipe.
Yeah, and we found much more oil residue in there. It's just okay. It's old.
It's old. It's old car with a lot of miles.
The PVC system is not as good as what's on the Focus SC, and Focus SC has a lot of oil issues too. But then we found this. This is basically a catch can inside the. We're assuming, because it's spongy and it's at the.
This was stuffed inside the outlet on the intercooler.
Outside, yeah, intercooler, and we're assuming that this is a catch can for the oil, and which looks in pretty bad shape. It's soaked up for 30 years of work.
So what you learned from this is we're gonna have to put a real catch can on the car.
Right.
And,
we found out where the PCV system is, and we're going to hack into it and put a eBay catch can system to work with it, and we're gonna run some. It does have a vacuum line running to the intake, and there's a system over there. So we are going to hack into it, splice it into middle, still keep the same hoses and stuff, so we still have some vacuum coming through and working properly. So other thing we found is that this car has almost brand new Canon filter. We were thinking about putting another filter here somewhere, pot filter, but then just looking through, it doesn't look like that. I would like to do that.
Spacing will be an issue. We'll have to run some kind of 90-degree elbow up from the turbo and then remove a bunch of factory stuff to make room for it. So considering the filter's in good shape and the whole theme of this is not really to make huge power, that's more than enough. So we'll probably throw that back in there.
Yeah, yeah, that's so far that's it, and that's what we found, and we're gonna leave it the way it is, because there's some other weird stuff going on in there. The fuel pump is. And on top of it, well, the mechanical fuel pump over here, and there's some like bypass valves and stuff like that.
So until we better learn what it is, we don't want to start ripping stuff out just yet. The other interesting thing we learned is that intercooler was held on very jankily. It was pretty much wire tie.
I found it.
It's on the ground actually, but
this was like a spacer that was sitting right here, and with a basically a metal.
A metal hanger, like part of a clothes hanger, was holding that to the whole crash support. So obviously we're going to mount that a lot better, probably get some bolts and some screws and nuts or whatever, make sure it's in place, not going to wobble around or anything. But yeah, that pretty much is our first real update vlog digging into this here, is we want to fix the boost leak. Turbocharged cars are no fun if you're missing all the boosts. So
forget about the timing belt, forget about the leak.
Oh, and we fixed the clock.
Oh, yeah, the clock was an hour off. That was the first step. Checked. Done.
So clock, boost leak, and...
Boost leak. Well, we haven't fixed it. We found the problem. Well, we're going to take you guys with us. We're going to fix it, and then the more problem we find, we're going to show you guys what's it like to own a project semi. This is not a full project car.
It runs.
Say that.
Ran.
Yeah, it ran one part. Nah, we'll see how it goes. And after there's a story. After we did our initial
introduction video,
we were driving back, and when I was just looking into this, trying to figure out what it was, and I just put this in there, just for now. I did not tighten down or anything like that, and it does have a worn out motor mount, so the engine just rocks crazy.
Lots of flex, yeah.
Yeah, and then I just lift off the clutch real fast in third gear, and engine just like rocked really hard, and then popped that boot off, and I'm like, we're like literally like
one block
away from my house, and then the car just dies. I'm like,
luckily we popped the hood, and I'm like, come on, please tell me it was that pipe, and lo and behold, the pipe was no longer connected to the throttle body there.
And then I just put it back on and just
limped it home, and we're good.
We're good.
And we started ripping it apart right after that, and that's where we ended up with it. So, yeah, definitely let us know in the comments below if you have any more insight as to the way the factory intake works. I'd really like to know more about this airbox. Like Andre was saying, there's some kind of strange mechanism in it. I wonder what that's for and how that all works. But outside of that, drop a comment down below if you like more of these kind of like on-the-fly repair style vlogs. This car's going to have a lot of these. You know, we're going to kind of just dig into it, rip stuff apart, and share our findings as we see them with you guys, because stuff's interesting. You know, not many cars were built in this way, shape, and form. So seeing the way things go together, and you know, it's got a lot of modern stuff that you still see on cars today. Obviously, a turbocharged intercooled engine. That's stuff you see in most vehicles today.
And also, I want to know what the turbo is. I guess Google it and find out. It does have a markings of KKK. So please let me know the turbo size and who made it. And I don't know. I want to see.
We don't even know if it's a factory turbo to this car. It's,
so I will like. I don't know.
Let's get one last look at it while we're talking about it here.
Yeah, I mean, it does look pretty decent in there, but who knows the life of this car that's been maybe replaced or not.
The multiple owners and what it's been through. I mean, highly unlikely that's the factory turbo that was put on the car 30 years ago, but who knows? Yeah. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this one.
Yeah.
Anything else to add, Under?
If you haven't subscribed, please do so. We do have different content. We do have motorcycles, other boosted cars, and DIYs and stuff. We try to pump out as much as content as possible.
It's going to be a lot of variety this year.
And with this car and with a bunch of other new cars that we have, there's going to be a lot of cool videos. Please subscribe and also push that bell button. Get all the notifications, the good ones. And let us know in the comment how you feel about my accent today, I guess.
We'll catch you guys in the next one.